Welcome to part 2. I hope you guys tuned in and watched part 1. The link will be in the description below. Now that your cakes have come out of the oven, they look a lot darker than what they were when it first came out of the oven, because you've sprayed it or fed it with brandy for about 7 days, and they should be as dark as these ones are right now. Today we'll be decorating 2 cakes. One will be very simple, not a lot of work that goes into it, and the other one will be a bit more involved, and your kids would love it as well because it's making things with fondant. So the first cake we're going to do is a very simple one. We are going to cut the top of this cake off because, as you can see, all the fruit is on the top of this cake, and I'm actually going to use the bottom of the cake as the top because it's flatter and it won't be an open cake. So we are going to take my nifty apparatus over here. It's basically a cake level. We are going to measure how tall we want our cake to be. So it would have to be about 2 notches higher than what it's set now, and then we can just check if it is right. So you can get one of these cake levels at any baking supply store. If you can't find it and you need a little help, you can just send me an email and I can help you find one. Okay, so now that we have it, let's just measure. Okay, it can go 1 notch higher because we don't want to lose a lot of the cake. We just want to level it. So we just want to get rid of the bulge on the top. Okay, so now we're just going to cut. And I like to turn my cake around while I'm doing this. So you're first cutting the outer section of your cake, and then you're just working your way to the center. And make sure to keep the feet on the counter. Don't lift it at any point. If you lift the feet of the leveler, you're going to cut skew, so it won't be completely straight. So now we can take this top part off, and I'm going to show you what you can do with your leftovers in a second. Okay, so now that we've cut the top part off, we're going to turn the cake around and put it onto our board. But in order to stick it to the board, I'm going to use a bit of apricot jam. I'm just going to brush some on the board. So you'd melt your jam in the microwave for a couple of seconds, doesn't have to be long. So our next step, we're going to take a stencil and we're just going to place it on the top of the cake, and we're going to center it as best as possible. Okay, so I'm using a Christmas stencil. Any Christmas themed stencil will do. And then we're going to take some icing sugar and just dust it all over the top, and that imprint should show on the cake. So the icing sugar is going to look like snow. And once you've covered your entire template, make sure that you take your stencil off very sturdy and level so that nothing else falls off the stencil. So we're going to lift it up. And to finish this one off, because this is going to be a very simple one, we're just going to put some red ribbon along the edge and cut it to size. And we're just going to take a pin and we are going to stick it to hold the ribbon. So once you've got your ribbon on your cake, just to finish everything off, we're going to add a few of the cherries to the center of the cake. So I have green and red cherries. Make a little display in the center. And that is the first cake. Okay, so if you want to gift your cake to anyone, so I'm going to show you how I would wrap this one. So you can open your cellophane, put your cake in the middle, or wherever you want it to be, and make sure that you can bunch it on the top. So I think that's fine on that side. And we just cut it the same place on the other side. Once you've cut your cellophane to the size that you want it, you're just gonna gather it in the middle Oh, it's missing. We're going to take some sellotape and just wrap it around where you've gathered it. As tight as you can get it. Okay, and then just cut that off. And if you're happy with your spikes on the top, or if maybe one of them is too short, or if it looks torn like that, you just cut it and fix it and neaten it however you want to. And then we are going to add another piece of ribbon around this top part. So just have enough so that we can wrap it around a few times first. So I'm just going to cut this over there. What a scissor. So now we're just going to wrap around. If one side is longer, then just wrap the longer side around. Okay. And then we're going to tie a bow on whichever side you want to be. Yeah. Okay, and then you can cut the edge of your ribbon, just make it look prettier. And cut a triangle. Okay, so as the end of your ribbon, just make it prettier by cutting a triangle. It looks like that. If you guys have any questions, or if you came across any problems or any cake accidents, then just let me know, pop me a mail or comment on this video, and I will be glad to respond to anything. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.